Welcome to the Piece of Energy podcast. I'm Kathy, and I'll be joined by my sister Dawn, my daughter Katie, and oftentimes some other guests for different topics about crystals, energy healing, spiritual growth, and many other ways to help bring out the best in you. Thanks for listening and enjoy our various podcasts. Hello, welcome to the Piece of Energy podcast. Today is the introduction, the very first podcast that we're making. My name is Kathy.
And I'm Dawn. Today our podcast is about when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
So we ask you right off the bat, how were you introduced to crystals? Many of us have a memorable experience that makes us feel there was a reason that crystals came to us.
Yes, they came to us.
Think of a time when you heard some breaking news and it would change history. In some of those situations, many of us can remember exactly what we were doing when we heard that news.
Like when the Twin Towers were hit on 9/11. Or when John F. Kennedy died and my grandma told me when I was 3 years old that his boy doesn't have a daddy anymore.
That was an awesome way to explain that to a child.
It was. She just came right out with it. There was all kinds of confusion on TV and I didn't know what was going on, but she just pulled that right out and made me understand it. And it's been with me forever.
So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. When you had something happen to you, when you started using crystals for a reason, do you remember what was going on when that happened? Well, our story is a memorable experience that introduced us to the healing energy of crystals. This is our story, our memorable experience that introduced us to the healing energy of crystals. Several years ago, my sister Dawn, who I'm sitting with right now, who had long been treating her diabetes, was working on one of her sewing projects, a beautiful quilt that she was making. She had accidentally dropped a pin on the floor and then accidentally stepped on it.
I didn't even feel it.
Such a simple little thing, right?
Yeah.
Her foot became inflamed and then infected, and because of the diabetes, it got worse. Over a short time, the infection became dangerous to her life. It wouldn't heal, even with all the special care she gave it. To complicate the situation, Dawn had developed a life-threatening allergy to latex from many years of working in nursing, where she had to change powdered latex gloves routinely during her workday. This led to such a serious allergy that she couldn't be treated by normal medical means of wound care, hospital visits, procedures, or many medications because of the exposure to latex. The infection worsened. She shared her home with our mom, and the three of us were very concerned, trying to find the best way to help her recover. We prayed for her help.
I was going to die if we didn't find something, and there was nowhere to go. Nobody would come to the house to help me, doctor-wise, and there was no doctor's office I could go to that wasn't contaminated with latex, so there was nothing else to do.
I couldn't imagine life without my dear sister. I wasn't ready to let her go, that's for sure. Desperate, I searched my mind for what to do. I asked myself, what did people do to heal themselves for the last 5,000 years? How did they take care of health problems when there was no medicine as we know it now? Until now, I had always prayed for Dawn in a thankful manner, asking for her happiness, health, and her well-being. But now I ask God for something outrageous to help me find a solution that could save her when there was nothing apparent that we could do. I didn't even know what to ask for. I was open to any solutions. Medical people couldn't help her and hadn't thought of anything to help if she couldn't get to a medical facility. We had to take matters into our own hands. And by we, I meant the dynamic team of Dawn, my mom, and myself. We faced everything together.
That's for sure. Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Yep. Well, when searching, I ran across some examples of people who healed different medical problems with crystals. I learned that they had energy and vibrations and chemistry that affected people when used with many different intentions. Narrowing down the searches, I found that a crystal called African jade was helpful for people when trying to heal difficulties with their feet. I wasted no more time investigating. We discussed the idea, and Dawn purchased a couple African jade stones, cleansed them the way we read that you should cleanse a crystal, and applied 2 craggy-looking, not so pretty polished nuggets on her damaged toes, and then we put a sock over them.
I just remember thinking, what is she doing now? Okay, I'll just make her happy and put them on my toes. I just didn't think this was going to work, but what the heck? I had nothing to lose.
Well, we usually try to keep a sense of humor about everything.
Yep, everything.
And Dawn and my mom and I laughed at ourselves when we tucked her in for the night.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
In the next few days, the redness in her toes began to fade. What? What? In front of us was the notion of healing with crystals from the earth that we could have never imagined.
It was amazing. I just never believe things until I see it. Well, I saw it.
And they began to have a slow process, and I will say slow, and it was still scary, no doubt. There were many complications and challenges, and there always are with a person with these
big illnesses.
Yeah, with these illnesses.
It was overwhelming.
This is an ongoing problem. However, there has been progress, and there is continued monitoring, treating, special care with definite improvement. This was life-saving.
Here I am. That is when we became ready for the teacher to appear.
That's right. We became open to the notion of crystals. We became open to the possibilities, and we became open to hope. That was the day our lives began to change. Not only did the healing begin, but so did our learning and growth. That was for my sister, my mom, and myself. We began to study the power of crystals, energy healing, intentions,
practice, spiritual growth, and many wonderful things to share with our family and friends.
This is our memorable experience where we realized that we were ready. Come with us on our journey. Participate in our podcast as we share, explore, and grow.
We would love to hear your story of awakening to crystals.